Hello and welcome to the Chapter 2 review of The Secret of Shambhala in Search of the 11th Insight of the Celestine Prophecy. This chapter is entitled The Call of Shambhala. So let's get right into the plot of Chapter 2. The main character and Yin leave Lhasa and go to Lama Rigden's monastery. At the monastery, the main character is introduced to the sect and then gets to speak one-on-one with Lama Rigden. In that conversation, the Lama tasks the main character of answering the call of Shambhala. The main character eventually accepts. Some of the things that happen along the way. They stop by a friend of Yin's house, and the Chinese agents show up. Yin and the main character flee, but it's assumed his friend was killed or captured. The main character wakes up and doesn't find Yin at the campsite and walks into town. On the way, he sees a refugee family, but doesn't want to be seen by them, and then Yin finds him and brings him into the monastery, where he then sees the refugee family and learns they were put on his path to guide him. The Shambhala Sect. They hold the belief that Shambhala is a real place. The Lamas are in touch with Shambhala through dreams. Will began showing up in Lama Rigden's dreams. Will was dreaming of Shambhala. In the dreams, there also appears an American, and they presume it is the main character. The sect has roots in Buddhism, but they stand for the synthesis of all religions. They believe each religion has its truth that must be incorporated with all the others. It is possible to do this without losing the sovereignty or basic truth of one's own traditional way. And in addition to calling themselves Buddhists, they would also call themselves Christians, Jews, and Muslims. They believe those in Shambhala work for an integration of all religious truth. They work for this in the same spirit that the Dalai Lama makes the Kala Chakra initiations known to anyone who has a sincere heart. The sending of the fragrance. The monks notice the main character is able to detect the divine fragrance, and they all run to tell Lama Rigden of what they've seen. Lama Rigden then agrees to see the main character. The main character meets Lama Rigden. Lama Rigden says Shambhala is a real physical location on Earth as well as a way of life or mentality. He and other adepts have dreamed of the place and compared dreams, and they are similar. They hold the sacred knowledge, the legends, and are to preserve the knowledge while waiting for the time when Shambhala will come out and make itself known to all people. They know the time is near from the sign in that they all dreamed of Will. He dreamed of them. He smelled the same fragrance the main character smelled that the monks witnessed. He tells the main character that he is being called, that the sending of the fragrance is a rare thing. He inquires if he has heard the cry of Shambhala. The dreams indicate that Will won't make it if he doesn't heed the call of Shambhala and accept the quest to join Will. The destiny of each generation. The legends say that in Shambhala, each generation has a certain destiny that is publicly known. Great strength and clarity can be gained by looking at the courage and intent of the generation that came before us. Storming the beach in Normandy was the calling for a whole generation. They saved the world at the time of its greatest peril. Our generation's calling must save the world in a different way by understanding that inside you is a great power that can be cultivated and extended, a mental energy that has always been called prayer. The main character says, "So I've been told, but I guess I still don't know how to use it." To this, the Lama smiled and stood up, looking at him with a twinkle in his eye. "Yes," he said, "I know. But you will. Answering the call. After sleeping, the Lama asks if the main character is ready to answer the call of Shambhala. The main character isn't sure if he is ready to answer the call. The main character says he wouldn't know how to proceed. The Lama says, "The legends will guide you." They say that the time for Shambhala to be known will be recognized because many people will begin to understand how those in Shambhala live. You must answer the call to Shambhala. It is the only way to honor what your forefathers have done before you. But what to do first? Complete the extensions of your energy. This won't be easy for you because of your fear and anger, but if you persist, the gateway will present itself to you. To find Shambhala, you must systematically extend your energy until you emanate enough creative strength to go there. The procedure for doing this is set forth in the legends and involves 3 important steps. There is also a 4th step, but it is known in its completeness only to those in Shambhala. That is why finding Shambhala is so difficult. Even if one successfully extends one's energy through the first 3 steps, one must have help in order to actually find the way to Shambhala. The Dikini must open the gateway. Who or what are the Dikini? They are the guardians of Shambhala. They are from the spiritual world. They usually appear as females, but they can take any form they wish. In the West, they are known as angels. Legends say they move with the light of Shambhala. The Dikini are other beings who act to awaken and guard humans. They are not, and never were, human. The gateway. Our legends say that there are several gateways into Shambhala, one in the eastern Himalayas in India, one to the northwest on the border of China, and one in the far north in Russia. The signs will guide you to the right one. When all seems lost, look for the Dikini. Before you can find Shambhala, you must first extend the level of energy that emanates from you and goes out into the world. You can't have success until you do. You must master the force of your expectations. Shangri-La. Shangri-La is a fictional place described in the 1933 novel Lost Horizon by British author James Hilton. Hilton describes Shangri-La as a mystical, harmonious valley gently guided from a lamasery enclosed in the western end of the Kunlun Mountains. Shangri-La has become synonymous with any earthly paradise, particularly a mythical Himalayan utopia, a permanently happy land isolated from the world. In the novel, the people who live at Shangri-La are almost immortal, living hundreds of years beyond the normal lifespan and only very slowly aging in appearance. The name also evokes the imagery of the exoticism of the Orient. The truth behind prayer energy. Prayer is not a power that is realized only when we sit down and decide to pray in a particular situation. Prayer works at these times, of course, but prayer is also working at other times. A constant prayer field. Everything we expect, good or bad, conscious or unconscious, we are helping bring into being. Our prayer is an energy or power that emanates out from us in all directions. In most people who think in ordinary ways, this power is very weak and contradictory. But in others who seem to achieve a lot in life and who are very creative and successful, this field of energy is strong, although it is still usually unconscious. Most of those in this group have a strong field because they grew up in an environment where they learned to expect success and more or less take it for granted. They had strong role models whom they emulated, but the legends say that soon all people will learn about this power and understand that our ability to use this energy can be strengthened and extended. Characters in this chapter: John Woodson, the main character; Yin Dolo, Lama Rigden, he's the head of the sect; Jampa, the older Tibetan woman, Yin's friend; the refugee family, the monks, and Will was mentioned. Locations mentioned in this chapter are Lhasa, Lama Rigden's monastery near Shagatsi. Wisdom found in this chapter. If you need to know which way to go, look for an area to be lighter, like in video games. We hold the knowledge of the legends, verbal wisdom as old as the Kala Chakra, which is devoted to the integration of all religious truth. Knowledge. The forces of totalitarianism have not gone away. They are just not expressing themselves any longer through nations seeking empire. The forces of tyranny now are international and much more subtle, taking advantage of our dependence on technology and credit and a desire for convenience. Out of fear, they seek to centralize all technological growth into the hands of a few so that their economic positions can be safeguarded and the future evolution of the world controlled. Opposing them with force is impossible. Democracy must be guarded now with the next step in freedom's evolution. We must use the power of our vision and the expectations that flow out from us as a constant prayer. This power is stronger than anyone now knows, and we must master it and begin to use it before it is too late. There are signs that something is changing in Shambhala. It is opening, shifting. Here's a passage. The Chinese are doing the same thing Stalin did in Manchuria, importing thousands of outsiders, in this case ethnic Chinese, into Tibet to change the cultural balance and institute Chinese ways. They demand that our schools teach only the Chinese language. Time period things from the chapter. The main character wanted to use a phone and make an international call, and the option for phones to be available weren't there, let alone cell phones, or the internet, or texting. Chapter 2 conclusion. May the force be with you. If this chapter was beneficial to you, leave a comment, a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe to this channel. Check out the Celestine Prophecy playlist. I'll see you in the next one.